Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our Discord server where we post daily updates. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. So Cardano is currently below the trend line, as you can see. And yeah, we'll see if we get a bounce right now or if we don't, because if we drop below the trend line right now, I mean, we have already dropped below it. If we stay below it, it's very likely that we test the 0.382 extension right here before we actually continue with the third wave of the third wave. So we'll see if that happens or not. Keep in mind, the 0.382 extension is exactly where the bull market support band is. So if for some reason this will turn into some kind of ABC structure to the downside, which will look something like this, it's not going to be the end of the world, but like I said, we kind of need to stay above the bull market support band, so we'll see if that happens. Now the last chance to bounce would be at the 50% extension of the whole 1-2 setup that we have on the chart, and of course we could get below that as well. We could get to the 0.618 extension, but I don't really want to see the price drop below the 50% extension because that would put us below the bull market support band, and if we go below the bull market support band, the bull market support band will start doing something like this, and then we will have a cross, and I don't really want to see a cross right now, and I don't really want to see the red line of the bull market support band go above the green line of the bull market support band, because for example the last time when that happened was right here when we topped in the first wave of a very large 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 setup that we need to form in this cycle if we want to stay bullish. And yeah, we topped right here and that was it. Then for the next 6 months we just went sideways. We actually went down quite a lot. So yeah, you don't really want to see a cross on the bull market support band right now. You kind of need to hope that Cardano keeps going up and that it does not go sideways for too long, because if it goes sideways we might get a cross, and like I said, that would not be the most bullish thing in the world. If you can remember what happened in the previous cycle, after we had a cross on the bull market support band, we never had one again until the third wave of the third wave was actually over. So yeah, I don't want to see one right now. That would not be the best thing ever. But keep in mind, this looks like a fake out. If you go on the 4-hour chart, the 4-hour chart is not oversold, at least not yet. So there is a chance that we go to the oversold territory first and then we bounce. But like I said, there's also the chance that we test the 72.7 cents level before we continue. Now the 1-2 setup that we have on the chart has not been invalidated, at least not yet. And I mean, you could call this some kind of ABC structure with an overshooting B wave right here. But you know, it's not really the best looking structure, so I kind of want to see this 1-2 setup hold support levels. And as a matter of fact, let me give you a support zone for that, because I mean, why not? So yeah, the support zone for this is not looking too great. As you can see, we are at the 0.786 support level, so if we do not bounce right now, it's very likely that we invalidate the whole setup. And yeah, if we do that, it's likely that we get below this low right here, which is at about 82.7 cents, I guess. And if we do that, we might as well get below this low as well, and this is at 76.3 cents. And yeah, this whole 1-2 setup would get invalidated. We will no longer get a third wave. Like I said, we could start bouncing right now. The third wave target of this 1-2 setup is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup, and that is at $1.30. So we could start bouncing right now. However, keep in mind, we are at the 0.786 support level, so we'll see if we actually bounce or not. As you can see, we are getting a reaction to the support zone, but this is obviously not enough. And yeah, it's not looking that bad, but it's not looking too great either. And yeah, you have to be prepared in case we do get a much bigger drop. Now, I also want to look at Bitcoin. If you look at the Bitcoin chart, it's down about 20k from this high right here. And this was not really unexpected. As you know, in the previous couple of cycles, Bitcoin never really had a great January. I mean, here, for example, in the previous post-halving year, yes, it went up 14%, but you can remember what happened with Bitcoin exactly 4 years ago. Bitcoin still had a correction before it actually went up like 14%. Or so. So as you can see here in January, Bitcoin had a 31% drop and then it continued going up. So we could get something like this again. I think what we have on the chart right now is just a big fake out. And also, if you zoom out, this does not really look like anything. People are already getting fearful. They are commenting stuff like, oh yeah, we'll not get an altcoin season in this cycle, or blah blah blah, just because Bitcoin is down like 16%. I mean, this is nothing, and I did warn you many times that we will get these types of corrections in the bull market. These corrections always happen. I mean, if you look at the previous couple of cycles, we had one here, we had one here, we had one here, here, and we had a lot of them. And especially in 2017, as you can see in 2017, we had one here, 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 and here, and then here, here. So yeah, we cannot go up in a straight line. We need these corrections. And also keep in mind, 16%, it's not really a lot when you compare this move that we have right now with what we had in the previous couple of cycles. So yeah, you should, not get too worried and not be fearful right now, because we are still in a post-halving here, and this is still Bitcoin we are talking about. And also it makes sense that we got another low, because the fourth wave to the downside right here needed an ABC structure. Right now we have an ABC structure, so we could start bouncing. As you can see, the price is showing a reaction to the 0.236 extension of the third wave to the upside, so we'll see if we bounce or not. Now keep in mind, the bull market support band is currently at about $83,000, and in the previous couple of cycles we have tested the bull market support band during the bull market, which means that right now there is a chance that we drop like $83,000 to test the bull market support band and then we bounce. And keep in mind, the bull market support band is exactly at the 0.382 extension, so that could theoretically happen. Now of course, if that happens, I'm not expecting the altcoin market to go down too much, because at the end of the day I'm still expecting Bitcoin dominance to start dropping very soon. As you can see, at least on the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin dominance is currently overbought. And yeah, we have a trend line on the chart right now. I just put it on the chart. Of course, it's not the most beautiful looking trend line, but as you can see, we keep putting in lower highs. So this is good, and I think it will start breaking down extremely soon. Like I said, we had a cross on the bull market support band, and this is not even a question anymore. Bitcoin dominance will very likely start going down extremely soon. Now, like I told you many times, there is a chance that it just goes sideways until January 20th. Until the next president gets put into the office, and then we start going down. But even if that happens, there's like a week left until then, so you should not really get worried right now. Bitcoin dominance is still at near cycle highs. Also keep in mind, when the president was elected, Bitcoin dominance dropped like 7% in a matter of like 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks. And during this time, Cardano went up about 300%. So imagine what happens when Bitcoin dominance drops from like 58% right now to like 40% in the next couple of months. It's gonna get insane, and I think Ethereum and the altcoins will also go up. Now keep in mind, speaking of Ethereum, Ethereum is currently down on the monthly chart. As you can see, Ethereum is down about 8% right now, but I don't think this is going to last. And just like Bitcoin, Ethereum is also going down exactly like it did 4 years ago. So if you look at this right here, let me find it actually. This right here, we actually had a move to the downside in January, and this was a pretty impulsive move to the downside, and it was kind of deep. As you can see, we went down like 33% during January, and that lasted a couple of days, and then we recovered. And in the previous post-halving year, which was 2021, we still went up like 78% on the monthly chart. So yeah, Ethereum was down over here, but keep in mind, it still continued going up after that. So I think it's just going to do what it did in the previous cycle again, but of course that's just my opinion. I might be wrong, who knows. So far I have been right, so there's that. But until Bitcoin dominance starts dropping, you cannot really expect Ethereum to go up. I mean, that's not how it works. Ethereum only goes up when Bitcoin dominance goes down. It cannot go up when Bitcoin dominance goes up. Of course, it's gonna go up with Bitcoin, but it's still going to be outperformed by Bitcoin. So yeah, people are calling Ethereum dead right now, and of course they are. I mean, Bitcoin dominance is at cycle highs. And this happens every single cycle. People were calling Ethereum dead back here, they were calling it dead back here and back here. So yeah, this is not really anything to worry about. And honestly, I still believe Cardano will be able to hit about $5 to $8 in this cycle. We are still copying what we did in the previous cycle. And keep in mind, the minimum target for the third wave to the upside of this very large 1-2 setup is still the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup, and that is at $2.98. And of course, we could overextend to the 2.272 extension, maybe even higher. Keep in mind, in the previous cycle, we got to the 1618 extension of the previous all-time high in the main third wave to the upside. So if we want to do the exact same thing in this cycle, we have to get above the 1618 extension of the 2021 all-time high, and that is at about $5.30. We don't have to copy exactly what we did in the previous cycle, but so far we have been copying exactly what happened. So we'll see if we get a third wave of a third wave soon. The third wave of the third wave in the previous cycle topped at the end of February, so that's why I'm thinking that in this cycle the same thing will happen. And as you can see, the third wave of the third wave topped exactly at the 100% extension of the previous all-time high. So there is a chance that in this cycle, the third wave of the third wave just gets to the previous all-time high, then we get rejected, we get a fourth wave to the downside, and then the fifth wave to the upside puts us at about $5 or so to complete the third wave, and then we get a fourth wave move down and a fifth wave move up, and that should end the cycle by, let's say, September to November of 2025, maybe earlier, maybe a bit later. I don't really know exactly when it's going to top, I just know that it will top this year. So yeah, that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our Discord server where we post multiple updates a day. Like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.